With its rich history in the automotive industry, Detroit has earned the enduring nickname Motor City. But Wisconsin also has some bragging rights when it comes to automaking. Did you know the state's most successful car company was built by a man abandoned by his parents as a child? That Amelia Earhart, Greta Garbo, and other celebrities owned a high-end car made in Hartford. And that Badger is not only the name of our state animal, but a car built in Columbus more than 110 years ago. As Michael Schlesinger discovered in our Sunday morning spotlight, that's just some of the fascinating history you'll find at the Wisconsin Automotive Museum in Hartford.
Whether you're a member of a car club or just love looking at classic ones, you have to admit what you're seeing can easily stir emotions.
It's a connection to the past, is what it is. I mean, and even if you didn't live during that time, it's still a connection and a window to the past and what life was like at that time.
Dawn Bundas is the executive director of the Wisconsin Automotive Museum in Hartford. She's been at the helm for years and knows the true value of the automobile, especially the 124 housed here, and certainly their history.
I think it relates to memories and their growing up and their childhood.
The Kissel is really the star of the show at this two-floor site. The auto itself was made in Hartford for 25 years in the early part of the 20th century. But there are other Wisconsin-made vehicles sharing the spotlight, including the Nash, manufactured in Kenosha from 1916 to 1937.
In a place like this, I prefer a car that's older than I am. In that way, it's a moving target. There is going to be an audience, no matter what we think.
The first floor houses all the relics, and when you move to the second level, you might find ones you're more familiar with, like the Mustang and Camaros. This is just the tip of the iceberg.
Dawn, total compliment here. Who needs Wikipedia or Google? I have you. You have a story with every car, like this one. What is this?
Yes. This is a 1947 Cadillac, and it's not listed as a limousine simply because it doesn't have a divider window. 7 passengers, but what's really significant about this car is that it was Milwaukee's first city car. So that meant that the mayor would be riding in it, if there were any dignitaries who came to visit, like the president.
Okay, I have to mention, Dawn, you've sort of resonated to this area, 1950 Studebaker. What is it about this car that really piques your interest so much?
Well, this one gets mentioned by visitors so many times. When they leave, they'll say, our family had a car just like this and just in this color.
I also love, Dawn, shiny stuff, like this red car. It's a Roadrunner Plymouth, 1969.
Yes, correct.
What's the backstory with this?
Well, this one is on loan. It's been in the same family since new, but when it was purchased new, it was a gentleman who was in his 50s.
Yeah.
And I was told by his son he was just Mr. Middle America and station wagon, and one day Dad came home with that.
For a city the size of Hartford to have a place where we have people from all over the world, all over the country coming to visit, I think is a big deal.
Justin Agar-Pratt is the museum's program coordinator. He looks at the relevance of all of this in a different lens.
I enjoy this from a historian's vantage point. Just the aesthetics. I mean, you could, if you wanted to, you could call this an art museum.
No matter what you call it, it really is the story behind each car. Those memories we discussed, getting so many of us revved up.
People love it. I don't think I've ever heard of someone having a complaint, besides the fact that, you know, we didn't have a 57 Chevy Bel Air or a DeLorean or something, right? You know, there's always a wish list of cars that people want to see, but it's great for repeat visitors. You know, people could probably come multiple times a year.
And the good news, not everything on display is permanent.
There's always going to be something new, you know, if you space your visits out right. Then the memories that being here evokes for people, whether they say, oh, we had one of those cars, or my neighbor had one of those cars, or I've always wanted one of these cars.
But there really is something for everyone here, and people relate to cars differently, and there's different appreciations. And even if someone thinks they're not a car person, that in itself is a story.